Hi, I'm HME News Executive Editor Mike Moran, and I'm here today with Eric Kline, the President of HME Sales Pro. And we're going to talk about how HME sales professionals stay on task, how they maintain the objective and make the sale and not be distracted by all the stuff going on in the referral source's office. So give us some tips, Eric.
You know, Mike, one of the hardest things to do when you're in a referral source's office, when they're looking at you and you've got all this information to present, is to stay focused. Because they're going to try to distract you any way they can, because they've got so many other things going on. They got patients coming in, they got other reps coming in, they got, hey, what's up, man? They got,
What were we talking about?
Where was I? Oh yeah,
sales,
the importance of being focused.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
So what you want to do is make sure that you have a plan when you go in, because the most important time we have during our sales day is in front of that referral source. We spend all day driving, we spend all day walking, we spend the majority of our time doing other things that are not sales related.
Yeah.
The 2 or 3 minutes that we have with the referral source is so important. We have to stay on task. And one of the things that I recommend is that reps follow a through E sales call. They know what A is. For me, I always start with a question. So A is always begin by asking a question. And so I ask a question, I follow up with a positive statement about the company. I call out some benefits to the referral source, to the patient, and then I ended up asking for a referral. But I know where I am at any given moment in that presentation.
So your blueprint, your presentation, you saw like a blueprint. Does it pretty much stay the same from source to source?
Yes, yeah, it does. It stays the same. However, the balance of a sales call, how much of it is relationship building, and how much of it is actual business, it's going to vary between referral source. But if we spend all of our time talking about business, we're not going to get very far.
It's easy to spend too much time on one thing,
right,
and then you never get to the next.
Exactly. And if we spend all of our time on personal issues, building that relationship, then they're not going to look at us as a salesperson. They're just a visitor. So we have to stay focused on making a sales call, going through the steps, and then everything we have to do culminates in asking for a referral.
So it's sort of the salesperson really is sort of like an orchestra. He has to move the meeting along.
Absolutely. The salesperson has to take control of the conversation. If they don't, then you can't expect somebody to follow you. If you don't know where you're going, you can't expect other people to follow you. And as salespeople, that's what we do. We lead the conversations, but here's the secret. They don't know that we're leading the conversation.
That's right.
They think they're leading.
Do you have sort of a list of things that you try to get through?
Absolutely.
And just quickly, how does your sales call progress?
Good question. What I do is we start by asking a question. A, always begin by asking a question. B, be sure to call out a positive statement about the company. I'm sorry, be sure to make a positive statement about the company. In other words, the question would be, do you see patients in Volusia County? And the positive statement would be, we provide service in Volusia County. And then C, call out the benefits to the patient, benefits to the referral source. Why is it important for the patient to work with us, and why is it important for the referral source to work with us? We have to hit that, because the referral source has different needs than the patient has. The patient wants they want a good sleep, and they want to wake up in the morning refreshed after a night with their CPAP. The referral source wants to know that their patient has a solid mask, or a solid fitting mask that's going to allow them to have a good night's sleep, so the patient remains compliant. And D, don't forget to ask permission to close, which is kind of assessing whether or not they're on board with what we've just been talking about. And then E is end by asking for a referral. And it's as simple as, Mike, can I count on your next referral? Yeah. So it's a very, A through E.
That's right. Yeah, and so you have to have that objective with each call.
Exactly.
Right.
No matter what we do, even if we get distracted, we should always end by asking for a referral.
Right. It's like keeping a to-do list. At the end of if you get through your to-do list, by the end of the day, you've had a good day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the beauty about it is you can use the A through E, on every account that you call, and you can use the same topic all week long if you want. Yeah. So you can really focus on those 2 or 3 minutes that you have between the referral source and you, rather than everything else.
Yeah. All right. Well, Eric, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Mike, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Bye-bye.